That was that was a bad idea. Retro City Rampage, a indie game that I hold near and dear to my heart. It was originally released back in 2012, I believe, for some system. I don't remember. So let's take a look at it today, shall we? Because that's kind of all what you're here for, right? Indiejacob. I think it's very fitting to start this off by saying I've bought this game 5 times. 5. As in the amount of people you should show my channel to. So I've owned this for the Wii, the Vita, the PC, the 3DS, and now the Switch. And I really don't know how that happened, but I'm sure there was a method behind that level of madness, hopefully. Or it could just be that the game is really good. I don't really know. So in this game, you play simply as a character named Player, who is a criminal for hire who likes to steal things and get himself into trouble. But he's got a heart of gold, so it's okay. And you are recruited by Doc Chalk, who is obviously a major reference to Doc Brown from Back to the Future, my favorite movie of all time, to hunt down parts for a time machine that broke down in the year 20XX after it transported you there. Good lord, that storyline. You know, it's immediately apparent to me why I love this game so much, and let me just show you why. It's fun being the criminal. Now let's be honest here. Most of us don't have the balls or have a small enough brain to go out, smash someone with a baseball bat and steal their car. I'm just not gonna do that, and I hope you wouldn't do that either. So in order for us all to experience that high and live on the edge, you should turn to this game. Kind of like I do. Because it's just fun to go around and wreck shit. It's just as simple as that. It appeals to my primal urge to cause destruction, and obviously I can't do that because murder. But Retro City Rampage is also just one of those kind of bizarre games that you just crave to play, and it is just simply one of the weirdest and craziest games I've ever played as well. As far as I know, it is the only game that lets me ride a Yoshi bike over to an arcade with a stripped copy of Bit Trip Runner in it, and then I can get killed and resurrect as Death, where I'm supposed to go kill civilians for a minigame. So the best way for me to describe this game is just imagine everything from the 80s, smash it into a blender, mix it with the old school top-down 2D GTA games, and just puree all that crap together. There you go. And the level of references in here is just completely off the charts. Just to name a few off the top of my head, there's references to Mario's Hills, Link from Zelda, Princess Toadstool, the Ghostbusters, Mega Man, Solid Snake, obviously Back to the Future, that's this whole game. Tron, Dr. Von Butnick, guess who he's a reference to? It just never ends. I mean, that's maybe 3% of the references this game is actually going back to. So there's a lot of referential humor in here, something I can respect. It's not like on the level of Family Guy to where it's kind of obnoxious, like it's fun and tasteful. And I appreciate that. So what's the gameplay like? Well, the game is basically just mission-based. Most of your time is going to be spent completing tasks while you look for parts to the time machine that crashed down. Now, this consists of things like seeing how many civilians you can run over, breaking into a parody of Incom and collecting plans, shooting up shops, and more. So, you know, just all around being a good Samaritan. Yeah, there are many other varying types of missions, but I don't really want to spoil them. I'm not one of those guys. I like to quote-unquote review things here for you, but I don't really want to just show you like the final boss in the thumbnail, because those guys are dicks. Most of your time is going to be spent just having these crazy frenetic action scenes where you're just running around gunning people, jumping on people, just stomping people, stealing bubblegum, just random stuff, and it's just so much fun, and I love describing that to you because it shows you just how insanely wacky this game is and why it's perfect for me. And Retro City Rampage is also the perfect blend of linearity and open world goofiness. And the game jokes about that too, which is phenomenal. Because yeah, at any point in time, yes, you can advance the story and the game makes it abundantly clear where your next mission will take place at, which is great. But you can also spend time just going around doing dumb things, like racing cars or just stealing skateboards from children because they don't deserve them. That was a joke, right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And it's also pretty awesome that at any time you can go back and do these challenges whenever you want and get your high scores and compete with your friends. That's always great. Love doing that. Little friendly competition never hurt anyone. So you never really spend any spare time running around doing just nonsense. Unless you want to go do some nonsense, and this game is perfect for that and that kind of nonsense. And by nonsense, I mean nonsense. Oh? Did you think I wouldn't be helping the Go-Go Busters by feeding dead bodies to a possessed demon car? well, you're just silly. This game is snarky as shit, though. It's got a lot of that self-aware humor, such as making fun of the indie video game scene, or even poking fun at our society for sometimes thinking that those horrible video games possess our minds and souls and force us to commit countless criminal acts of violence in the real world. No, that doesn't happen. But you want to know the most crazy thing about this game, though? As many times as I've actually started playing this game, I've never beat it. And I started it like 5 times. It's so good and captivating, but I just always seem to get busy playing something else. And now while some people think that that may be a bad thing, and I would normally agree, I think this is an exception. I mean, I did buy the game 5 times. I wouldn't recommend it to you if it wasn't good on some sort of level. And if I can ever get my hands on a physical version of that, make that 6. But I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be my last purchase, though, because I finally have it on the ideal system for an indie game. Funnily enough, right as I was editing this video, they decided to announce that a physical version is coming out for the Switch. I'm gonna buy it. In short, Retro City Rampage is just a fun game that's gonna give you a quick romp through some craziness and some wackiness, and if you're just looking to play something different, there really isn't anything out there that's like this. I mean, there's things that are 3D, but this is a 2D open world adventure. It's wacky and nuts and insane, and I love it for that. It always keeps you busy. You never feel like you're just doing something that's just pointless. You always have a point to the mission. You always have a reason to do some dumb crap that you're doing. And that's the most thrilling aspect of the entire game, is you're always doing something that has some level of meaning. Like, it's not just running around collecting things like in Ubisoft games. But the greatest treat that this game gives us is the fact that I'm pretty sure that toad right there is jacking it in front of Doc Chalk's house. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go now.